2026 is going to be an awesome year. We got some pretty cool stuff coming up. First off, we got Foundations of Recovery. This is our flagship program. We're starting it in January.
This is for anyone, man, woman, or couple who wants to come and reclaim their heart from shame, trauma, and betrayal. We start off with an education on all sorts of principles, give you the common language. We feed you from a fire hose in terms of all things recovery.
It is such a great start to recovery. And we get at the roots of things, Tyler. This isn't like any other program. Like, this is our healing journey in process, and Foundations is where we begin.
If you look at the value that you're getting there to kick off a good recovery with all of the right education, all of the right language, and a team to get you started while also being directed by Brandon and myself through the whole process, what a deal.
So if you're interested, if you're struggling, if you've been wanting to do something for a long time, jump into this. This only comes around every so often, and we would love to have you there.
Click the link in the description to sign up for it. And to make it even sweeter, we're also including a raffle for a free pass to the Radiant Dawn retreat. Anyone who signs up for Foundations will be added to the raffle for that free Radiant Dawn pass. If you're a man and you sign up for Foundations, your name still gets entered, and you can give that pass away if you win it to any woman that you want to.
So what you're saying, Tyler, is if you sign up and participate in Foundations, you could possibly go to Radiant Dawn for free?
That's exactly what I'm saying, which is crazy because Foundations by itself is already an insane value.
Man, I sound so salesy. But it actually is awesome. So come to Foundations. And even if you don't come to Foundations, sign up for Radiant Dawn. It's beyond therapy, the best healing experiences that you can have.
Click the link below and come join us. I am frequently exposed to my partner's affair partner. How do I handle the triggers?
Welcome to the Real Talk Recovery Podcast with the Therapy Brothers. We're brothers, we're therapists, and we know recovery.
Bring your stories, your questions, your successes with real recovery.
All right. Before we answer that, let me read a quick review here. So this says learning so much, and it's from Learning from Texas, I believe. I'm a transplant from BAE. At first, when I looked through the titles of each episode, a little shocked, I think. Wow, surely there's nothing I can relate to in that episode. Then I listen and find so many things about boundaries or recovery that help me on my journey. Listening has led to an epiphany about where I actually am in my recovery from betrayal trauma. I absolutely love your podcast and cannot thank you enough for the work you are doing together. Your podcast has given me a vocabulary for understanding what my spouse and I are going through. Both Brandon and Tyler give valuable perspectives and information on sex addiction, betrayal trauma, and just relationships in general.
I love that. I love that review, Brandon. Welcome from Texas. Glad you're here with us.
Yeah, really kind words. Thank you so much.
We are official. We've got the Radiant Dawn conference set up, ready to go, March 24th in Hurricane, Utah, which is down in the southern border of Utah. And it's going to be awesome.
Well, and what that is a women's retreat. So it's kind of the counterpart to our men's retreat that we did last September. And it's going to be awesome. It's really going to, I think, open some people up and have them dig deep and really find some answers to some hard questions. So where do they find it, Tyler?
RadiantDawnConference.com is the website. We have right now an early bird special where the first 15 that sign up get it at $500 discount. And we've already sold, I think, 6 of those. So there's 9 left as we speak right now.
Yeah, so that'll sell out for sure. So if you're going to sign up, get on it quickly. So, all right. We have Susan with us from Down Under. So, Susan, good to have you. I'm really glad that you're here. If you would just give us a little background and tell us who you are and ask us any questions you have.
Okay, so my name's Susan, and I've been in a relationship for 4 years with my partner, although we don't live together, but we are in a committed relationship. And we are part of members of a local dance group. And recently I discovered my partner had had an emotional affair with one of the single women in our dance group. So I was alerted to this because of a change in his behaviour towards me. And I realised that there was a fly in the ointment, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to sort of expose it and nip it in the bud before it sort of became anything more serious. Even though I've been assured by both parties that nothing was ever intended, that they were just chatting, it was just messages, and I did see the messages, but nothing ever happened. So I have to sort of believe this, even though it's very difficult at times to believe this. We have since been trying to struggle our way forward, my partner and myself, and it has been difficult. And because I'm still exposed to this woman, she's still part of our dance group. I think my partner is trying his very, very hardest to avoid her, and he says he has my back, and that nothing happened, that they had no intention of anything happening. I still see it as a betrayal, and when I see her, I get triggered, and those triggers aren't very pleasant, and it makes me anxious. It makes me overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed and quite emotional, and I have to leave the situation, which is not great, because I'm trying to deal with it now. So my question to you is, how can I process these overwhelming feelings to be able to function in this social environment that we've created, which is now a very negative environment for me?
Mm-hmm.
I was leading to something else. I've tried to be friends with this woman. I thought, okay, I'm a bigger person. I can, we could be friends, and maybe that will try and ease this situation. And she's been quite responsive to that too. But I've just find myself, I can't be friends with her, because I feel if I'm friends with her, then that gives the green light to my partner then to also further contact. And I if ever there's a time that I'm not there at this group, and they're there together, then they'll resume this friendship, and that scares me. So therefore I avoid her also, and it's just creating a really strained environment. And I just would like some strategies, I guess, on how to deal with these triggers that I'm getting, which is creating a very negative environment for me and my partner as well. And he, to his credit, I believe there is no more communication behind the scenes with these two. I believe that's all done and dusted, and he's doing everything he possibly can to make me feel comfortable. So this negativity is I think, coming from myself. How do I deal with this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is pretty recent that this happened, Susan?
Yeah. He also is a person. Now, this is what attracted me to your podcasts initially, is because when we first got together, he disclosed that he had a sex addiction, that he had recovered from his sex addiction. So at the time, I did not know what this was. I had never heard of a sex addiction. I know that, you know, some people are more sexually active than others, but I didn't realise. I just thought, oh, well, okay, he likes sex. This is great, you know.
Right.
But I have since realised that it's more than that. So I'm a bit of a slow learner in that. I've tried to talk to him about it. He says he doesn't want to unravel that was part of his past. But then when this has occurred, and we've since discussed this situation between us, this situation with this emotional affair, he just touched on it lightly and said, well, maybe I still have a bit of this sex addiction going on that I need to deal with. And apart from that, he won't discuss it anymore with me.
And you don't know many details about, like, you know, have relationships broken up and things like that because of his sex addiction in the past?
I think that it was an issue with his wife. Yeah. His first wife. Yeah.
And maybe that led to some friction and
yes.
to possibly ending the relationship.
Possibly, yes. Yeah. I'd say so. Yeah. 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 So,
okay. But then he's very vague and doesn't get into the details and says, like, yeah, that was an issue, but but I've kind of moved on. And
yeah, he's moved on from it, and he doesn't really want to discuss it. It was part of his past. He says he knew he had what I do know is that he says he had a problem when he was a teenager living at home. He was exposed to a lot of Playboy magazines from his dad that his father used to leave lying around, and he just used to pick them up and thought that was just a natural, normal part of life.
Okay.
And so it was many years later that he realised that it was actually a problem. Yeah.
But he's also denying having sex with this woman. And
yes.
And right.
Yes.
So this,
I believe that, and I don't believe that ever happened. I don't believe that they ever met. I saw the messages, and I don't believe that they ever did meet. I think they spoke about meeting up and maybe discussed it at one stage. But there were also a couple of very, very lengthy, like an hour and a half video calls, like nighttime, bedtime video calls, which I've been told that they were just talking about this and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And that's very hard for me to believe. So, yeah.
Would it
any other questions?
Yeah. Would it make a difference if you knew the content of those calls and it was either just talking about this or that to say goodnight to each other, or if it was something sexual? Would it feel different?
Yeah, it would. It would, because again, it's the trust thing. I just want to know the truth of what happened and where it was leading. And I guess because I found out about it, and because I found out about it, obviously it stopped at that point. So I'm finding it also very hard to move on from the fact that if I hadn't exposed it, you know, where was it leading? Yeah. But, you know, on the other hand, we had reached a point in our relationship where we were both neglecting each other a little bit, emotionally neglecting each other. So, so there were some issues with us, but I didn't think that it would lead to him seeking emotional connection outside of our relationship. So,
Susan, is there other, like, when you think about whether he's willing to lie to you or deceive you, has there been other areas in your relationship where that's happened?
It's hard to say. Sketchy. I don't think so. No, I don't believe so. He says he's being open and honest.
You trust him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I say that, but then this has happened, and this is just it's thrown me. It's actually really affected me in a way that I didn't think possible. It's the anger and the hurt and that I feel that has risen up in me is something is causing behaviour in myself that I just didn't even know existed. So yeah,
Susan, I feel a discrepancy between your like there's a dissonance in your feelings of I feel like you want to trust him, that you want to, but how I just read what your answer was I don't, but I should and I want to.
Yeah.
Right. And me and Tyler, we could actually dig for a while longer, because what we need to get down to is what's really going on, because your triggers and your emotions, they might be spot on. It might be very good for you to act on them and to be aware of them, or it might be a trauma response and you're overreacting to the situation and you need to do the opposite action to those triggers. From what you're saying in the quick little time that we've had to talk, for me, and Tyler, you can speak to this after me too, but there's a lot of red flags going up for me. A lot of red flags going up. And I think your intuition and your gut is saying, yikes, I'm not totally safe in this relationship. And I think it's going up. You're feeling that for a reason. There's good reason for that. So Tyler, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that's where I wanted to start with you, Susan, is just maybe to reemphasize a few principles here with understanding how trauma works and how trauma and attachment work together. Because I hear even in the way you're describing yourself saying, well, geez, I feel, you haven't said these words, but I feel crazy and I get these triggers and I don't know how to handle them. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If I'm built for attachment and connection as a human being, and I find a person that I feel like I can be securely attached to, and I feel like I can trust them and I can rely on them, and then I find out on my own without some type of a disclosure that who I thought I was in a relationship with isn't necessarily exactly what I thought, and there's a lot of deception there. The body is going to do things that the body's designed to do when there's danger.
Okay.
And so your body is doing exactly what it was built to do to help you to find survival. It's causing your heart rate to go up. It's causing you to see these things. It's causing you to have this kind of like unstable set of feelings. It's that fight, flight, or freeze response that the brainstem kicks off and says, danger, danger, danger. Because what does it really represent if this person where I'm supposed to be safe isn't necessarily safe? That's just like meeting a lion out in the jungle. It feels the same way to the body. So when you have those triggers come up, there's a way to at least start to meet yourself with understanding and compassion, and to start with actually expressing gratitude for your body and your brain for doing its job.
Okay.
It's actually doing its job. And then it leads to where Brandon, I think, is going with this, which is once I can get in touch with the fact that my body is just doing its job and I can start to ground myself back to things, then I need to start looking at the landscape that I'm in. Say, is this a safe landscape now, or is it actually still a dangerous landscape? And where I think maybe it's getting a little bit messy for you is that you feel in some ways that he's been caught and that he's being genuine, that he's being honest with you now, but he's also not really willing to disclose to you how his sexual addiction really has played a role in his life and even in you guys' relationship. So you've got what feels like him not doing a bad behavior anymore, but you still don't have transparency and honesty in the relationship. And so you're struggling with these mixed messages of, well, geez, is it safe or not? And your body is going to be doing exactly what your body does right now because of those mixed messages.
Yeah.
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 In other words, Susan, the good news is that from what Tyler and I are kind of feeling and seeing, the good news is that your gut feels and your intuition might be pretty spot on. And the bad news for you is that your gut feels and your intuition might be pretty spot on.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you might not want that to be the reality or the truth, you know? And so you want to talk yourself out of what you're feeling, and talk yourself and say, like, no. Like, I shouldn't be feeling these things. I'm the crazy one here. That's easier almost than saying, like, hang on here. Maybe I'm not safe in this relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'm feeling and these triggers are real. Now, does that mean that he's off having an affair with this woman? No. And what I think we're picking up on is what he's not is being a transparent, trustworthy partner with you. And so you're going to have a lot of triggers about someone that you've been chatting with for hours in bed, right? Like, you're going to have a lot of those triggers when there's not that solid foundation of safety in your relationship with him. And the triggers are what Tyler's talking about. Your body's going to respond. You're going to respond. You're going to not feel okay. And so it seems like to me, Susan, that you love him, that you really care for him, right? And you want to be with him. And that's real. And yeah,
because outside of this, we're good together, you know.
Right.
So it's difficult.
Hey, Tyler, we get the question all the time, how do I get into your groups and how do I get the therapy that I need?
We frequently have groups starting in an online fashion so you can get help wherever you are in the world. You can find a group that will help you with the things that we talk about. Brandon, how do they find you?
liftforrecovery.com. You can get into my Lift group. It's a full comprehensive group program, both for betrayal trauma and sex addiction. And it's awesome. So I'd love to have you there. What about you, Tyler?
We run what's called a Foundations of Recovery group, which is for both betrayal trauma and addiction as well, all online. And it covers the basics of recovery, shame resiliency, mindfulness, a toolbox, helping to cope with healing, and also different kinds of communication. And you can find that at lovestrong.com.
So there's options. There's no excuse now. If you are ready to work recovery, you can come work with me or you can come work with Tyler, and you'll get the help you need at either one of our programs. So come and join us
at lovestrong.com or
liftforrecovery.com. So here's a red flag. And Tyler, I'm going to ask you, Tyler, does sex addiction just kind of evaporate and go away? Is it like it's a cut that heals and all of a sudden it's gone?
Oh, man, I wish I had a nickel for every time I heard, I used to have a porn problem when I was in high school, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my past life. Like, I've dealt with that, that's that thing I dealt with. And
here's the deal with that, Brandon, is that when you hear those kinds of things like, oh yeah, that was in my past. Well, that could be in my past a day ago or a week ago or a month ago or a year ago. But really, for the people that I see that do the best in recovery from this is that when they actually are able to integrate that into their lives as part of their experience and say, you know what, I have experienced this. I'm working on this. These are the things I've learned. These are the things I'm committed to. These are the ways I'm growing. And they see it more as, instead of like closing a chapter, like, oh, my sex addiction's dead. It's more like, oh yeah, this is how I live in recovery as a result of the things that I've learned.
Yeah.
And if you get that, then that's not a red flag.
Yep. A man in recovery is very transparent, open. They talk about what they learned from their addiction. It's very much this learning experience that they've grown from. What recovery is not is, oh, I dealt with that thing. Now I don't need to talk about it. That is actually a sign that the shame and probably the addiction is still very present.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
when you think about addiction, the addiction of the acting out, whether it was with this women at the dance class or in other forms, that is
remember that that's the surface level. That's the fruit of the plant. And the shame itself is the thing that's driving the addiction. And so if I can't even talk with my partner about those things because I'm still so ashamed, it's pretty likely that I haven't learned how to be resilient to my shame, which means that whether it's through my addiction this way or some other way or some cross addiction or some other form of numbing out, I've learned to cope by doing these self kind of fulfilling things without needing the connection of other people. And I'm probably not really fully shame resilient yet. So that's the red flag Brandon's pointing out. We don't know if he's acting out or not. He probably isn't right now, but it's the lack of ability to speak his shame that's screaming at both of us, saying that's where you're probably still feeling this little like, something's not quite right here with all of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he does admit that he's ashamed and embarrassed by what has occurred.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good.
And he has apologized profusely, and he is being extremely attentive towards me, and well, he does pretty much ignore her when we're around. But yeah, it's still that past that I've tried to tap into to understand a little bit more about this, the sex addiction, which he avoids talking about fully. So he has talked to me a little bit about it, but I just got the impression that it was that shame that didn't allow him to fully.
Susan, are you're not working with a therapist, are you?
Oh, well, I'm trying, but since COVID, it's been really, really difficult to get a reasonably good therapist to chat to. So I have got my name on a couple of waiting lists.
Okay.
So yeah, just waiting. There's about a 3-month waiting list to see.
So if you're willing to do it online, Tyler and I can get you set up with a trained therapist quickly. But this is why I ask. I really would recommend a full disclosure process in your relationship with a therapist.
Yeah, and we as a couple, we have spoken about this, and both of us agree that is the way to go.
Okay.
Good.
He has agreed to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you could.
So Susan, his willingness there it says something too, right? So we're just assessing like how safe are you? He sounds like a good man who wants to do some reparation work with you. But you don't know what you don't know. And to me,
I know.
In doing a full
and I don't like that.
Yeah, of course not. Nobody likes that in a relationship, But to me, in doing a full disclosure, it's not necessarily about you getting the information. That's not the important part of the full disclosure. A full disclosure would be important to just kind of see his willingness to step into the hard stuff.
That's right.
Be as honest as he possibly can be, and without any denial. Yeah.
That's right.
And then you just kind of feel I always tell the partners, like, it's not so much about his words, it's about his heart. Like, where is he in doing this? Is there remorse and honesty? Then that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Right. And if that's there, then there's good hope for moving forward with the relationship. If it's not there, if he's really resistant, doesn't want to open up, angry that he has to do it, and all of those things, then you're getting your answer, right? I'm not with a safe man, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I'm not getting that.
Right.
I'm getting remorse for what has occurred between us. Embarrassed. He's said that he was embarrassed. He's now embarrassed to go back to dance class, because this all happened while we were in a COVID lockdown. So he's saying all the right things,
right.
but yeah, and trying to show me the right way.
I
don't
think he's
there's-
doing the best he can.
Yeah, I
right?
think I really have gone over and over this, and this is why I'm still hanging in there, because
Right.
I do feel that he can't do any more without probably counsel guidance. He can't do any more than what he's doing right now. So it's
Right.
just a matter now of rebuilding trust.
Yeah.
And dealing with my angry triggers. So I don't know whether it's a good idea to befriend this woman and try to act like nothing's happened. But like I said, that just presents another problem, because then I don't actually trust the two of them, together.
Well, Susan, it wouldn't be authentic for you to pretend like you don't have any feelings there either. And I would suspect that that's one place where you guys could unravel this in a fast way, as if you pretend it doesn't bother you and he pretends that he still doesn't worry about it or think about it or doesn't think about her from time to time, and then you all pretend that nothing's wrong and nothing gets addressed and nothing has permission to process. Then that's going to be a problem for you guys moving forward. And I think you'd be better off being able to allow yourself some space in some places to actually say, you know what, like, well, maybe you want to, like, do you want to go be friends with her?
No, I don't.
No. Okay.
No, I don't.
Well, then you don't need to do that. That's okay.
No.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask him,
Okay.
hey, do you still have feelings for her? If he gives you a resounding no, not at all, that's probably
He says he doesn't. He says there's no feelings there. He says that, he was never in love with her. That's not what it was about. He was attracted to her, but not in love with her. Mm-hmm. And his feelings for her now are, well, she's just another woman at dancing. That's it.
Okay. So, Susan, I say this all the time, but this whole thing happening with her and all this stuff, it's not necessarily it's not because of your relationship. I'm sure the relationship played into it, but it's because of his stuff, right? And like he admitted, like, maybe some of my sex addiction stuff is coming back up. And so he needs, in order for you to not be so triggered in the relationship with him, is he needs to be proactive in his own recovery. But the other thing I want to ask you is, how important is this dance class for you? And why do you go?
It's really important. It's changed my life. It's
okay.
For a long, long time, I felt like I needed something to be passionate about, a passion in my life. And I found dancing 4 years ago. And at the same time we met, we didn't meet at dancing. We met we met online, actually.
Okay.
And but soon after, he agreed to join as well, so we could learn to dance together. And we've made some really nice, solid friendships along the way. And,
so you don't want to throw those things away.
No. And there was a possibility that I could join another dance class, which was there is another one that's close-ish by, and start again with a new bunch of people. And I did consider that. And now I've learnt that this woman and her dance partner have joined the other group as well as our group, so they're both going to both. So So
really, there's no option for you.
No, there's no option. There's no other way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and she's not going anywhere. She's dug her heels in, and she's not budging.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously you got to weigh this out, right? Like, because I'm just thinking, if I were you, if my wife had broken trust, and I had to see this guy that she'd broken trust with over and over again, I'd be triggered too. Like that'd be awful. And I wouldn't, I wouldn't want to be around him, and I wouldn't want her to be around him. Right. And so, but I mean, this is complicated because it's social, it's physical, it's good for you in so many ways. So you really have to weigh this out and say, like, man, if you go every week and it's just misery because you're dealing with these triggers, take a break for a while. But if you go every week and, okay, there she is, what do I need to do to surrender that over so that I can be present with my dance partner and have a good time here? How can I practice some mindfulness and some surrender? And what boundaries do we have to make sure that we're not going to interact too much, right? And if you have those in place and you feel safe enough and you can still get the enjoyment and the benefits from the dance class, then do it. But if you don't force yourself to participate. You know, you don't want to shut your life down, but you also don't have to live in the lion's den.
No,
like dancing next to her.
No,
right?
And there's enough of us in the group that I don't need to do that. So
okay.
When you say that, Brandon, though, it sounds so unfair.
It is unfair
that she would have to leave the lion's den because she's got the trauma response, even though she didn't do anything
that's
wrong.
Right.
This is totally unfair.
Yeah, that is the unfair part about this whole scenario. Is I just feel like I'm the victim here. I'm the only one that's been hurt in this whole scenario.
Well, yeah. Welcome to the world of betrayal. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like it is unfair. It's unfair that you're left with these triggers now. The good news, Susan, is that you are strong enough to navigate this, to learn from it, to grow from it. So it can turn into a real massive, awesome blessing in your life. But it's totally unfair.
Right. It is, and I'm trying to look at it that way as a learning curve, and I also try and think, well, okay, it's just probably time. Time will help heal it, and time will tell, really, if I can if he can gain my trust again, fully trust.
That's good. Yes.
Full trust. But it also helps just talking to you guys. You know, just talking about it validates my. You know, you've validated my craziness, and
you're not crazy.
So I feel somewhat at peace a little bit more now after having this chat. And
Susan, could I give you just one really practical tool for the next time you go to dance class?
Yeah.
A lot of times, and this isn't the bigger answer. Where you're going is the bigger answer. Where Brandon's been leading you into trust and practice and communication and a full disclosure, that's all the right place to go. But just to help you get through dance next time, when you walk into dance, tell me very quickly what happens to your physical body when you walk into dance class.
Well, it's a nice place to be. Like it's usually a relaxing, nice place to be until she walks in the room, and then
right when she walks in, tell me what happens.
Well, I try to not look at her, but then I'm looking at her all the time. I'm watching who she's watching, and my head's swinging around. You know.
What does your heart do?
Oh, it's pounding. Yeah.
What does your face do?
I don't know what my face is doing, but I'm probably not. I'm not relaxed like I used to be. It used to be a place where I could go to and just totally relax and have fun with everybody, and I loved everybody there. It was our good place, our good feel good place.
Yeah. So what you have happening is the emotional flooding system is kicking on because it's going into high alert first. Yeah. So here's a real quick tool you can try to use just to keep yourself grounded so you don't let it spin too far too fast, okay? The minute you notice whatever it is, your heart pounding, your face scrunching up, your hands sweating, your jaw clenching, whatever it is, you're just going to do the really quick exercise, and you're going to go to 3 things you see, 3 things you feel, and 3 things you think. And then you're going to go to 2 things you see, 2 things you feel, 2 things you think. And then you're going to go to 1 thing you see, 1 thing you hear or feel, 1 thing you think. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to be able to kind of grab a hold of your prefrontal cortex and bring yourself into the moment you're in instead of let your head start spinning all over the place and wondering and getting angry. You're going to say, oh, you know what? I can feel my feet on the ground. I can see the color of the dance floor. I can see my dance instructor. Okay. What do I feel? I feel the temperature of the room. I can feel my jaw clenching. I can feel myself breathing oxygen, whatever it is. So you're going to bring yourself into yourself, and then you can check the facts and say, hey, I'm here to dance. I'm not here to follow her around or watch her eyes or do whatever else. I'm here because I chose to come here, as Brandon was saying, to dance and not to be triggered the whole time. So just maybe some way to really quickly ground yourself, and you can use that as many times as you want throughout the dance class, just a way to keep yourself grounded and present instead of letting it just become an hour or two of misery.
You know, what's interesting, Tyler, as you're talking about this, I love what you're saying. And I just want to tell you, it works. Getting, grounding with your senses and getting present. But this is the interesting part, is dancing is all about letting go and just being in the moment, right? So you really want to be able to do that when you go dance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And mostly we do, but I do sense that there's been a change in my demeanour, my personality since this has happened. So it's been difficult to get back into. And we've really only just started back since the COVID lockdowns. But that's a very good strategy. So I'll try and put that into practice.
So couple more things to consider. You said it, Susan, and I'm just going to reiterate it. Time is give a little bit of time. The triggers initially are a lot more intense, and they'll subside over time, especially if he's working on building trust with you. The other thing that you said, man, it's been nice talking this through with you guys. And I would just encourage you, if you don't already, to really have a good support system. And it doesn't have to be a therapist, but a good therapist would be helpful. But like a good friend, someone you can call and just say, man, I'm going to dance tonight. I'm just going to surrender over her to you and like talk this out. I'm freaked out because she'll probably be there. Whew, that's gone now. So now I'm just going to go. But something that you can process these feelings with and talk them out. It seems like you do respond to that, Susan, that talking it out helps. And so do you have a good support person outside of your partner?
I do. I'm very fortunate. I have some fantastic friends.
Okay.
Super friends, yeah. And
don't be shy to use them.
No.
Okay.
Although, having said that, it has created a little bit of tension with my best friend, because she just became very judgmental
of him,
and I found that difficult. So we just gave each other a bit of a wide berth, and we haven't really fully connected again since then. Yeah.
And so you might need to find another friend who's not so judgmental, right?
That's it.
And that's hard. So
Susan,
go ahead, Tyler.
Susan, I know it's a little bit of actually a lot of it, like a whole day time difference for you, but you would be a really perfect candidate for something like Brandon's Lift program or My Foundations for Recovery program that's done online as well. And you may just look into that. Either, Brandon, tell her your website.
It's liftforrecovery.com. Or you could Lift for Recovery.
Lift.
Lift. LIFT.com. Or you can look at mine as well. We're at lovestrong.com. And I think Brandon and I are both actually starting like our beginning groups just in a week or so. So if you want some support, you want more education, and you want to get some people who will speak the same language that you're learning to speak, that would be a great route for you to go as well.
Sure.
And most of our groups are at 7 p.m, so I think that would be daytime for you, which is a good thing.
That might work. Yeah, rather than getting up at the sparrow clock.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, I'll look into those for sure, and hopefully get some good strategies along the way to keep
Susan,
going.
You're a strong woman, and you create love and friendship and connection in your life. So keep doing a lot of what you're doing, because you're doing good.
Yeah, Susan, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate your willingness to come on and share so freely.
All right, you guys, if this was helpful, please share it. And we love your reviews. So go leave us a review. We'll see you guys later.